The long-awaited sequel to the groundbreaking Horizon Zero Dawn is finally with us. Horizon Forbidden West sees Aloy return to her role as the ultimate hunter-warrior, hell-bent on saving their planet and undoing the ghosts of humankind's past. So, is West really best? Here's our review of Horizon Forbidden West. Guerrilla's Games' action role-playing game takes place shortly after the events of the first game. If you're new to the series, you can read a brief breakdown on what's happened up to this point on our website by clicking the link in the description. Aloy's second open-world adventure sees her travelling across the Forbidden West after the fall of Hades, an AI that was obsessed with destroying all life on Earth. In the wake of saving the Earth from certain doom, life isn't quite out of the woods yet, as the planet's biosphere is still degrading. Aloy takes it upon herself to locate a backup of Gaia, an advanced AI system that was tasked with maintaining life on Earth before an unknown signal disrupted her control of 9 other AI systems that assisted in the preservation of the Earth. Without Gaia up and running, the Earth and its inhabitants will slowly die. While there's much more to the story with twists, turns, drama, politics and colourful relationships mixed in, it's up to you to find out the rest, as we wouldn't want to give away a good story. While the game has a lot less twists and turns than the original, the story still does a great job of developing a sense of heroism and impending doom with new characters and enemies mixed into the formula. While the first game focused on building a chaotic and exciting world, the second focuses on the characters and their relationships, presented through excellently choreographed cutscenes. Now, if you didn't play the first game, you can jump into the second game because it did finish at a nice checkpoint. The first adventure is brought up now and then through dialogue and cutscenes, but you will be at a severe disadvantage as to what's going on, as there's lots more to it than meets the eye. This is a true sequel, and as such it assumes that the player is aware of the events that led up to this point. However, with the story set aside, the gameplay is phenomenal, taking a lot of the popular parts of the first game and tweaking it to get the most out of the experience. The gameplay focuses on a raw hunter-warrior style with audacious attacks and challenging foes. When you're not traversing the beautiful open world, you're usually knee-deep in a scrap. The machines return with new and familiar acquaintances that prove to be both tricky and addictively fun to engage with. Combat revolves around Aloy's spear and bow, as well as a few inventive tools thanks to the advanced technology that has been passed on through the ages. This arsenal of weaponry comes with plenty of upgrades, elemental variations and special techniques such as Valor Surge to evolve your strategy and take on enemies in the most effective way. You're equipped with the Focus, a device that gives Aloy information about enemies and uncovers clues to complete missions. It brings a new and interesting element to most quest completing tasks that other games potentially lack. Admittedly, I felt like the offspring of Sherlock Holmes and Lara Croft, catapulted into the 31st century. It certainly proves to be the one-up you need in most fights, allowing you to track enemy footpaths and highlight their weaknesses to plan your attacks with as much detail as you wish. As you progress, you'll level up in true RPG fashion for fighting, looting, completing quests, and even discovering new locations. Leveling up rewards skill points that can be put into 6 different skill trees to complement your playstyle. Whether you like to run in weapons a-blazing or play a more stealthy style, you can put your points into what matters to you most to enhance your experience. While the gameplay is certainly the highlight for me, it doesn't come without its flaws. One of which is the frustrating decision to not equip Aloy with the ability to block or parry incoming attacks, leaving you with a simple dodge mechanic that is only effective in so many scenarios. Not to mention the lack of finesse in some of the more important mechanics such as critical strikes. With some of the more chaotic and random attacking patterns of some of the AI, it does leave you in a state where you're always guessing what's going to happen next, and you can have a full health bar taken away from you in moments with one small strike. It's a decision I'm still unsure why they took, and although it made me think outside of the box in terms of my attacks, sometimes I just didn't have the time or patience to do that. Sometimes I had to think about things and be a bit more slower than I would have liked to, considering my build path and how I wanted to play the game. Some issues can be negated to an extent with the skill tree, but certain trees provide far less worth than others, which isn't new for an RPG, but some skills that are quite useful are left late in the tree and are only unlocked once you've pushed through some of the more ineffective ones. Considering how precious these points are early doors, they're often ignored in favour of more practical ones. The game has plenty of content depending on how you like to play, running an average player around 30 hours of game time. For a true completionist, this can run up to 90 hours with the potential of DLC on the way. From the get-go, Horizon Forbidden West was made to keep players immersed in the action as much as possible. The game gets off to a strong start and continues to maintain a level of interest that some games fail to do, especially given the number of cutscenes included. While you may feel out of place for not playing the first, it's very welcoming and tries to include those who aren't familiar with the franchise and ensures loyalists will be right at home with the sequel. It's not a perfect game, some quality of life improvements could go a long way, but it's arguably the best PlayStation 5 game to date. Even though it lacks keyboard and mouse support, some players may not want to wait for a PC release, and it's an expense that anyone would be tempted to make. If you're a fan of the series, open world games or RPGs, this is a must pick up game. We hope you enjoyed, and if you did, do drop a like rating and subscribe for more gaming reviews. And if you're looking to take your gaming to the next level with a new headset, keyboard or mouse, head over to rockat.com.